We're going to talk about instrument and fixture keys, which are basically the same thing. So once you've drafted your plot and you've used every light you think you're going to use, or every type of light you're going to use, we should come over here to your lighting tool set, select that, and then you want to come up here into the tool set and grab the equipment summary key tool. I'm going to click on that and go out here somewhere where there's extra space in your drawing where you can drop some information and create a viewport. I'm going to drop this information out here, and right here is where you see the two fixtures that we have used, or I have used in this plot, which are a wide flood source 4 par and a 36-degree source 4. And it tells you how many of each I've used. That information doesn't have to be there, but before we get to that, let's look at a couple other things. If you double click on this, you're going to get an info box that has a lot of information. Now, your used equipment symbols, everything that you have used should be populated here. If it is not, you can go through this list and select it and then send it over to here. We only have those two lights, those two types of lights that we've used in this plot, so this is all good. Over here, these are the column settings. So the left margin is 1/4 inch, the column width is 3.5 inches, all of these settings. These settings are a little nebulous, a little difficult to wrap your head around with getting text to fit, and I usually just continue to play with the measurements until I get it where I want it. Or if you're having trouble getting the box to act perfectly and align with the rest of your bounding boxes that are on your title block, you can go here to bounding border single line and select none and draw your own bounding border or your own box around your instrument or fixture key. Okay, most of this over here, show key title, text, symbol key. I'm going to just call this instrument key because I prefer that. Right now it says the position is above the box, but I'm going to say below the line of the box so that it's all contained inside that box. And then I have some other options here. Show the symbols. Of course, I want to show the symbols. I don't want to auto rotate, although I could, but I'm not going to. This is going to say whatever the scale of the instrument or fixture key needs to be, and you will want that to be the same scale that is on your sheet layer. That you're plating your sheet layer. And then show wattages, show weight, show counts. Compare to inventory if you program the inventory in there, which we have not learned to do, but it's possible. Show color list, show gobo list. I'm not going to add this extra stuff, but I'm also going to get rid of show counts because I don't really care about that. When this information is transferred to LightWrite, someone could do a count in there, and that'd probably be the more pertinent place to do it. But I am going to show the wattages and show the symbols, so I'm going to click OK, and you see those numbers over there disappear. Now, some of this is red, and we need to change that because we're probably stuck in a class that this shouldn't necessarily be in. However, here it is, and now it is all black. So how do we get this to our plated drawing? So we would do a viewport just like we do everything else. We would take the rectangle tool, draw a boundary around it, and go to View, Create Viewport, and go through those same steps that you've gone through before to then place this on your drawing. So I'm going to do that really quick. I'm going to tidy up this box so that it's not so much room just around everywhere. Then I'm going to make the pen none, and then view, create viewport. Yes, I want to use that as the crop, and I'm going to call this viewport name instrument key. It doesn't have a drawing number, but the title is going to be instrument key again, and we're going to create on layer overhead plot, and its scale is going to be 1/2 inch. And now that instrument key is there, but you can see this drawing is in 1/4 inch scale, so I should probably make my fixture key in the same 1/4 inch scale. There it is. Yes, the scale on this plate is wrong at the moment, but I'm going to grab this by the corner and I would drag it down here in the corner. And now I have my instrument or fixture key. And then you would put your label legend above that. Now we discussed label legends in another video, but I'm going to go over real quick how you would create that. So over here, if we wanted to create that information, we see here we have a simple fixture and then the dimmer and the channel number and the unit number. So that's all we're going to do in a legend. And I am going to grab my lightning insertion tool and find my resource manager, pull it over to this screen, and I'm going to grab the plainest fixture I can, which is this ETC source 4. I'm going to double click and activate it, and then I'm just going to drop it here on the plot, and then I'm going to apply a legend to it, and I can go up to spotlight, lighting, and then assign label legend, or I could come down here in the object info box and call it a downlight. And now you see the dimmer and the channel number have populated below. Now, Vectorworks sees this still as a lighting fixture, an instrument in use, and we don't want that information to transfer over to LightWrite. So in order to break this down into a picture so that Vectorworks doesn't see it as a actual fixture, with it selected, I am going to go to Modify, Convert, and Convert to Group. And then don't convert subobjects to groups, and click OK. And now you see how it's selected changes, because it's not selected as an individual fixture. It's just a box around it as if it's a picture of a fixture. So then I'm going to grab my text tool, and over here I'm just going to make myself £3 signs. Those are going to represent the numbers in those areas. And then I'm going to have unit number, dimmer, and channel. I'm going to make this a little shorter just for space. And then I'm going to grab these things and make sure that it's in black. And then I will drag each of these numbers into the center of the area in which they go. And then I'm going to grab the center side of each of these, line it up with the center of the number, and drop it out there. I'll take the dimmer, line it up with the center of that sign and the edge of the information above it so that it's all lined up and clean. We have that. Grab this one on the side, align to center, align to the edge of the word above, and there you go. Then we'll want to make sure this matches the other text in our document. But what we could do then is take this, and I would draw a box for ease the same size as what your instrument key was. drop that box, make sure it's black, and then, oops, I still have the wrong tool selected. I'm going to grab this and place this inside of here. And then I'm just going to take the text and I'm going to say label legend. And grab it out of the top center, and I'm going to find center of this and drop it right there. You can center this back up a little more if you so wish. And now it's in there. Now I could create a whole viewport of this here, but if I add any fixtures, this is going to change and want to be updated. So probably best to grab this and create a separate viewport. So then we can draw a box around this. Great. And then I'm going to view, create viewport. Yes, I want to use that as the boundary. And the viewport name is going to be called label legend. Doesn't have a drawing number. And it's called label, whoops. The drawing title will be label legend. 1/2 inch scale. Looking good. Click OK. That name is already in use. Maybe because I created one earlier. When you create one, it should not give you that message. If it does, you can just create what I'm doing and just create like label legend 1. Click OK. That name is already selected. Then I'm going to call it fixture legend and see if it will let me call it that. And you're going to drop it on the sheet layer overhead plot. There we go. And it is up here. And we got the scale wrong again. Take it to quarter. And now I can grab it by this corner and I could bring it right over here. And one thing we see is our fixtures actually in this key are the wrong size. And I didn't catch that. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to come back over here to my design layers and to lighting. I'm going to come up here to this instrument key and I'm going to go over here and say, where does it say what the scale of the units are inside the key? It doesn't, so I'm going to double click and see if I can change that in here. Item scale, 1/4 inch. So I'm going to say 1/2 inch. I'm going to click OK. And that's going to change slightly. And then I'm going to go back over to my overhead plot. And now you see that the size of this has changed. So much like I told you could happen earlier, this is why we don't want to bring these things together so that they are connected, because we want to be able to manipulate them individually. However, you see now that this got larger, I'm missing the bottom of my boundary box, and that's because the crop slightly needs to change to accommodate seeing the rest of it. So I'm going to double click on this and I'm going to edit the crop. Click OK. It's going to take me to where this is in the drawing, and I'm just going to move this line like that. And when I exit the crop, now it's fixed. So then I could grab this by the corner and drop this down here, and this by the corner and drop it there. And that's how I get that information onto my plot.